Hey guys, a little bit of a treat for you. You've seen this guy in my background a lot, and we're going to talk about it today. But before we do that, we hit 180,000 subs the other night, and I really appreciate that. You guys are freaking doing amazing by just commenting, liking, and subscribing to the channel because it grows the channel in a way that's very organic. And when you go organic, it helps the algorithm, and it also shows companies such as Gerson and Fusion Firearms and a bunch of accessory companies that it's worth taking a chance letting me review their products because they have faith that you guys are going to come along for the ride. So thank you again for 180,000 subscribers. We'll discuss doing some fun things moving forward. But today we're taking a look at something that's been in the background of a lot of lives for quite a long time. This is a SigArms firearm. This is not a Sig Sauer. Technically it's a Sig Sauer, but it's before Sig Sauer was established as the Sig Sauer USA. Oh, it gets complicated with the history, but today we're just going to call it a Sig. This one is part of the inventory of Wind City Armory, so if you happen to be on the internet, go ahead and check it out at windcityarmory.com and maybe give me a call. See what's on the site and pick up your very own blue box. All right, enough talking. More talking coming. This is the Sig Sauer, because it does say Sig Sauer on the slide, p229 DAC. What's DAC, though? DAC is double action Kellerman. It is a trigger system that supposedly the creator of double action only was a man named Dan Kellerman. I believe it was Dan Kellerman. And it revolutionized a lot of firearms because double action onlys are guns that where you pull the trigger and that's all it does. So when you rack it, for example, the hammer doesn't stay back. So there is no single action with this gun. It's always pulling back the hammer and releasing it with the pull of the trigger. That's two actions done by one trigger. So doble. This is the 229, which is the smaller cousin from the 226. Has a smaller grip frame and typically has a shorter barrel on average. This one is a little bit different in that it is chambered in 357 SIG, clear, and that is a pretty cool round. 357 SIG obviously was a round that SIG did the development on, otherwise it would be called 357, that other round. So it has little bits of upgrades and we'll take a look at things on it. Yeah, really cool finishing on it. You can see that it's two different finishes because this is stainless and this is stainless, but they are manufactured, I believe, in two separate locations. So, yeah, exactly. And this was what I was talking about. SigArms guns typically have their frames made in Germany and their slides made in New Hampshire. So this is an amalgamation gun. It's kind of like Para-Ordnance used to ship in their frames and you build your gun, but SIG completes the guns here in the United States. It is hammer fired. Again, it is double action Kellerman, which we'll discuss in a minute, and it's a really nice gun. Mine has 3 mags with it. One of the mags actually I believe is a so this is a Mekgar, but it functions exactly the same. It just has a +2 base plate on there. So instead of the normal 12 rounds, I believe it's 12 rounds in the standard ranks. Yeah, instead of 12, you get 14, which is a lot of roundage of 357 Magnum, 357 SIG. 357 SIG is basically a 10mm casing neck down to a 9mm cartridge. So you get extra powder, so that 9mm cartridge or 9mm bullet is traveling at an excessive speed, which is really good. This particular model does have a set of True Glow night sights on it, flat front on the back, so you can rack it off stuff like I did in the shorts. The box typically comes with just the foam, 1 mag or 2 mags, and the gun. This one, again, my buddy. I got this from my buddy Daniel, and he had an extra mag for it. Has the... Oh, look at that. It's got some stuff in there. It's got some lube and stuff. But yeah, it normally would have your books and stuff back up in here. It does have one piece of pamphlet up in there. And very soft foam. Really nice. It doesn't really retain the firearm at all because of the it's big floppy doppy size. But hey, whatever. Put most of that away. Slide this over. And let's talk about that trigger. As I said, double action Kellerman. It's, as far as I know, the only gun that uses the DAC designation for this trigger system. Has a kind of interesting thing to it. So first pull on this gun is somewhere in the 8 to 9 pound range normally. This one feels like it's got a lot of rounds through it, so it's very smooth. I was going to say smoothed in. Does that even make sense? But no, it probably feels closer to like a flat 8 pounds on this gun. But when you pull the trigger and you release the trigger, with the standard double action, you just release it and you go. So it's just go, right? And then you pull the next shot. Well, this one actually has 2 reset points. The first reset point, you heard it click, resets it to the same 8 pounds. Now, the hammer is moved slightly back, kind of like on a CZ, where it does a half cock, they call it, where it supposedly will lighten the trigger. But that's not the case with this first reset. It's really weird. The first reset, which you think should be the lightest, is actually the same weight as the initial pull of about 8 pounds. When you release first and then second reset, that's actually the lighter reset. I think, and I could be wrong, we'll look when we go in there, I believe that there are a couple of notches in the action system in there. So what's happening is you're releasing and you're getting a longer fulcrum, which lightens the pull. You have it's like trying to move a cube up 1 foot from 1 foot away. It's very hard to do, but if you use an inclined plane, a lever or something like that, and you're 4 feet away, when you lift, the effort is much lower. I'm kind of equating that roughly to what's going on inside of here. Because it's double action only, we'll just say double action only, does not have a decocker system. These grips are actually made for a decocker gun, but that's okay. It just means it has a little bit of a swell right there. Standard takedown there, slide lock, slide release. No safeties on this because that is not the intended way for this gun to be carried. You can carry it in double action, Kellerman, if you want, or in first stage, or it's hammer back and then it gives you the lighter pull, but it's fine. Has actual serrations, or excuse me, checkering on the front strap, which you don't see on a lot of lower-ish priced guns. I wouldn't really say this one was lower priced. It was probably like $800 when it was new. It's a used gun now. These guns have been out for a long time. But yeah, pretty impressive there. At one point, this gun did have, I believe, a set of laser grips on it, like Crimson Trace grips or something, because it has the laser sticker underneath here, underneath SIG's proprietary rail, which is, sorry, I have to say it, very annoying. However, if you have anything with 1913 pick rail attachments, you can see typically they are going to work. This Warrior Land fits on there fine. I'm not going to attach it on there, but it fits on there fine. Let's see, serrations on the front of the trigger guard, so if you run fast, you can booger hook it. I don't actually usually put my finger up there when I'm using my grip. I'm usually up here. I'm pointing with my thumb, which is something I learned from watching other shooters, and I guess in competition it's very, very good way to hold, and I don't have to worry about hitting anything up here because the slide lock, slide release is so tightly integrated into the gun. Very nice. Sight picture is pretty decent. It is a regular, rather short barrel, and the sight radius isn't super long, but it's not terrible. Really quickly, this is a Springfield operator, chambered in 45 ACP. It's my former daily carry, also available on WinCityArmory.com. And you can see the size difference. I prefer a little bit longer gun, so when you put them together, it doesn't seem like a full inch of sight radius is going to make that much of a difference when you're actually running a gun, but believe me, it does. Believe you, us, we, you, be, blah, blah, blah. But no, these actually do make a difference when you have a longer sight radius. Also, single action, pretty. All right. I showed you the trigger set already. I showed you how it looks. What do you say we take her apart? Alrighty. In order to do that, first thing we do, oh yeah, you can see how many rounds. This thing's been used. Not abused, but it has been used. But what we want to do is lock the slide back visually and physically check it. Make sure there's nothing in there. While it is back and locked open, slide your detent down. Or not your detent, your lever. And go ahead and drop the slide. Because it is hammer fired, it does not require a trigger pull to release it. Go ahead and release your spring and your guide rod. It is not captive, but the guide rod is actually, it's bulky, but not large. Does that make sense? It's not any bigger than a standard guide rod, but the spring is like 5 springs wound together. So that gives you a lot of tension without being super thick. Go ahead and drop the barrel out. Like I said, this gun probably has all the rounds through it, but still has incredibly good rifling. I don't know if you can see that. Very good rifling. Would I call that incredibly good? Yeah, I'd say it's very good. Still very good. I've shot this gun a bunch. It is still super accurate. And, worst case scenario, get a different barrel. Duh. But yeah, it's really nice. Uses Browning's short action tilting recoil system. Looking inside here, it does have a drop safety, so it's one of the few that should be safe. Man, it is heat cycled a few times through this gun. My word. Very nice finishing, even though, like I said, it's got a high round count through it. It is really solid in there. You can see there's a firing pin in there, right there, right there, right there. Very interesting, though. I've never actually fully disassembled one, and I'm looking at it for the firing pin retention system. Oh, the firing pin block is the retention system. Got it. Got it. Sorry, I've never actually fully disassembled the 229 before. You'd think, oh, he's the massive gun guy. No, he's not. He's just a guy who likes his guns. Taking a look at the frame. Yeah, it's a little light to be. It's a little light to be stainless. I think it's an alloy frame. Yep, looking at it closer. I lied at the beginning, kids. Aluminum frame. But yeah, it is an alloy frame. I've been wrong 2 videos in a row when it comes to the frames. I've been tricked twice. But yeah, overall, the fit and finish is really nice. You can see the interaction between the slide rails. It seems to favor this side of the slide up front and this side on the back. That's an interesting thing. That means that the slide is lower here and lower here, higher here and higher here. So it's not making full contact on these 2 slides. You can see here it's wearing off material. This is actually interesting gun things, and you can see that it's taking off material there. So what's happening is these 2 contact points are physically touching more than these 2 contact points. Does that mean anything? Yeah, it could. It could mean that the slide is slightly off. Since it's doing it at a weird angle, though, it kind of means that the whole slide is like that. So you have different angles at different things. That's typically why with my personal firearms, I take all the finish off just so I can make sure that they're as even as possible. I usually use a flat file and just and make them as flat as possible. But yeah, I mean, the gun is highly accurate. I've shot this gun probably a couple of 100 times, and I've never had an issue with accuracy. So that's just an interesting thing to note, something you don't normally see unless you see a high round count gun. But yeah, for a high round count gun, the finish looks amazing still on it. Both on the slide and the frame. The barrel, obviously that will wear off. That's fine. Typically when a barrel does this, I'll just repolish it. Like I'll take everything off and do a high polish, and then you just have a nice stainless barrel. Some people bitch at me for doing that, but you know what? My level of carriage is not, as in I don't care, as in boo-hoo, as in grow a pair, Martha. Sorry. I don't mean to say stuff like that. Yeah, he does. Go ahead and grab your frame and your slide. Take them, start them, whop them, bop them. Whop it, bop it, skip it, dip it. Go ahead and hit your lever back. Dunk, dunk, and you are functional. That is the SIG Shower, or SigArms, 229 double action Kellerman in 357 SIG, or 357 SIG. By the way, all you clowns out there that keep on saying words weird, like 9mm, it's 9mm. Stop it. Anyway, that is the gun. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, if you'd like to discuss it, things like that, go ahead and join the lives Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays from 8 p.m. Eastern until we finish. Come back for more videos. Thank you for checking this one out. And as always, I'll talk to you later.